He went on a rant the other day that was gross and slimy, even by his standards. Speaking of not compelling, Wajahat Ali is one of the more vile humans in the media, which obviously saying quite a lot. He went on a rant the other day that was gross and slimy, even by his standards. Okay, even by the standards of a guy with the moral sense and IQ and personal hygiene of a slug, this was something else, even by those standards. Watch.
You have lost. You lost. The mistake that you made is you let us in the first place. See, that's the thing with brown people. I'm going to say this as a brown person. There's a lot of us. Like a lot. There's like 1.2 billion in India. There's more than 200 million in Pakistan. There's like 170 million in Bangladesh. Those are just the people there. I'm even talking about the folks who are expats or immigrants. There's a bunch of us. And we breed. We're a breeding people. And the problem is you let us in 1965. There were a few of us beforehand. But once you let one of us in, you know what happens with brown folks? Our grandmother comes, our grandfather comes, our uncle comes, our aunt comes, our cousin comes, our second cousin comes, our third cousin comes. Then we have kids, a bunch of kids. And then guess what? Some white women, you know, the Western civilization women, the pure women, the American women, quote unquote, the Rust Belt women, the real women, they like some of us brown folks. We don't take them. They come to us. So we're embedded. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. I've traveled this country. I'm going to speak as a brown person. Brown people are everywhere. There will be a Patel motel or there will be a Desi restaurant everywhere. I want you to realize this. You have lost. Your story is a story filled with misery. It's filled with bland chicken. It's filled with terrible, terrible dry ass meat. Your music sucks. All your culture sucks. Nobody. That's why the kids like listen to black people and their music. That's why the kids love Latinos. Your parties suck because they're monochromatic. Our parties have better food, better music, better looking women.
Now, so this is obviously cheap rage bait. And anyone can see that. I can see that. Anyone can see it. And that's basically all political commentary these days. I mean, this guy is on, I guess this was his podcast that he was doing this on. Nobody watches his podcast. Nobody cares about it. No one is. You walk up to 1,000 people randomly and say, what's your favorite podcast? None of them are going to say, Wajahat Ali. My favorite podcast is Wajahat Ali. No one's going to say that. If they did say that, you wouldn't have no one else would have any idea what they're talking about. You would think they're having a stroke or something. Wajahat Ali, what is that? And so that's almost all political podcasts, you know, almost all the time is just rage bait, which is why the whole space is dying, to be honest. Collapsing in on itself because everyone is just clip farming and rage baiting all the time. And I know people will say, well, that's what you do. But no, I mean, I'm just being myself. And actually, I start every show with like a 25-minute written monologue, which is the opposite of clip farming. For better or worse, you know, it's the opposite. And no one in this space does that. Everyone else is just turning on the camera and speaking extemporaneously, and I'm the only idiot putting like hours of writing into every show. My final show of last week was a 30-minute rebuttal to a Ken Burns documentary. And so, for better or worse, that's what we're doing over here. Anyway, the point is, this clip from Wajahat is clearly meant to provoke a reaction. And when you're a boring guy with a name that sounds like a Star Wars character, that's all you can do. When you're a bland nobody that no one cares about with a name that sounds like the bad guy from Dune or something, then that's all that you have. And yet in this case, I'm regrettably going to give him what he wants because I do think that a lot of truth is said in jest and a lot of truth is said in rage baiting. So that might have been his intention, but he was saying it to get a reaction. He was saying it to get attention, but he also thinks that. So Wajahat admits to several things here. Things that up until 12 seconds ago, we were called racist for saying. First of all, he admits that brown people basically weren't in this country at all until the late 20th century. That was quite an admission. That's not something they will ever admit until just now. But he's right. Because up until now, these same people have insisted that immigrants from the Muslim world and immigrants from the third world helped to build this country. And now he admits that that was always a lie. I mean, wasn't I just in an argument with one of these people? Who was it? Mehdi Hassan. And his argument was that, well, Muslim immigrants helped to build the country. And now here we have Wajahat saying, oh, no, actually, we just got here. We weren't here at all until a few decades ago. No, they didn't come here. They didn't build the country. They came here after everything was built. They came here because everything was built. They came here because they wanted to take advantage of a well-built country because they weren't able to build up their own countries. And he finally admits it. You know, there were not any Wajahats fighting in the American Revolution. There weren't any Wajahats on the American frontier, okay? There weren't any Wajahats in the Civil War. There weren't any Wajahats traveling across the, American wilderness out west. There weren't any Wajahats here doing anything or contributing in any way to anything until like 10 and a half seconds ago. They did not help to build the country. They came here because our country had been built, and he admits it. Those are his words. He said it. He admitted it. And most of all, he's admitting that the Great Replacement is real. So we see the familiar trajectory here. For years, they told us that the Great Replacement is a conspiracy theory. For years, they told us that we are racist for suggesting that there was any kind of plot to replace the native inhabitants of the United States, who are white people. White people are the natives of the United States of America. And they said that there was no plot, like to suggest that there was any plot to replace them with non-white foreigners was racist. And now here he is admitting it. That's everything he described is exactly what the Great Replacement is. And so we've officially entered the actually it is happening and it's good stage. We know this is how it always goes. First, we on the right, we say that something is happening, and they say, that's not happening, that's crazy, you're racist for saying it, that's conspiracy theory. And then eventually they get to, okay, actually it is happening and it's good. So before you were racist for thinking that it's happening, now you're racist for thinking that it's bad that it's happening, which is a very different argument. And he's right. It works exactly as he described. This is why mass migration is a mistake. It's why third world migration is a mistake. It's why H-1B program is a mistake. It's why it should be abolished. It's all right there. As he said, we bring in third worlders, and they bring in their extended family. They breed. They're breeders. That's his word. Said, we're breeding people. And which in and of itself, by the way, is not we should be breeders. We should all have kids. I have 6 kids. So I'll wear that badge proudly. But what he's saying is, okay, you bring us in and like supposedly we're here on we're here to work a job or whatever. And next thing you know, right, there's 20 more because we're bringing in, it's not just breeding. It's like bringing in, now we're going to bring the aunt and now the uncle and now the cousin and the second cousin, third cousin, and on and on. And they try to turn our country into the countries that they fled. This is, again, I'm just summarizing what he said, and he happens to be right. Healthy metabolism is key to your overall health and energy, but the health of your metabolism is not always obvious. But what if you could have a real-time metabolic coach that tells you what your metabolism is doing at any given moment? Lumen makes that a real possibility. Lumen is a portable device that measures, tracks, and analyzes your metabolism. It's the world's first handheld metabolic coach. And all you have to do is breathe into it. Each morning, one breath can tell you whether you're burning fat or carbs. Check in before and after meals or workouts to see what's happening in your body in real time. And Lumen gives you tailored tips to optimize your nutrition, workout, sleep, and stress management. You can also use it before and after workouts to see how your body's responding in real time. Over time, you start to see patterns and really understand what moves the needle for you personally. It's a big reason why my producer, McKenna, decided to try Lumen. She found it easy to use, helped her create a personalized nutrition plan while giving her a clearer understanding of her overall metabolic health. With Christmas around the corner and egregious amounts of dinners and treats being consumed, Lumen's personalized recommendations will be crucial in helping you stay energetic and healthy. Take charge of your metabolism. Go to lumen.me/Walsh to get an additional 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/Walsh for 15% off, top of any offers or sales running on their website. He's only wrong about one thing, really, which is the most obvious thing. He says that white culture, that this is what he's referring to. He's talking about he's talking to and about white people specifically. And he's saying that, well, we're inferior in every way, and everything's better for them. He says white people suck and are lame and bad, and his culture is so much better. Well, not only is he wrong about that, but he doesn't believe it, because that's why he's here. So that's always where it breaks down. They say, our culture is so much better, it's so much more, it's superior and everything. Why are you here then? Why did you come here? Like, why did you come to the country that was built by and large, the vast majority, by white people who you hate and you think are lame and terrible and have nothing to bring to the table? And why are you here? And that's always where it breaks down. So, but everything else he said is true. And even if he's just looking desperately for attention, which is all this is really about for him, I think in this one particular case, we should pay attention. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.